This is Habakkuk. Habakkuk was an Israelite, which means he was part of God's special family. He was also a prophet. That means he heard things from God and shared it with others. Most prophets spent their time giving God's messages to the Israelites, but Habakkuk was a little different because he talked to God instead of the Israelites. Habakkuk had lots of questions. He wondered why so many bad things were happening to his people. He wondered why people weren't loving their neighbors as they loved themselves. He wondered why people disobeyed God. And most of all, he wondered what God was going to do about all this. God wants us to ask him questions, and he wants us to know him better. And God answered Habakkuk. He said that he knows everything that happens, no matter how big or small. He saw his people's pain, and he had a plan to fix it. Habakkuk was a little confused about God's plan, so he asked God even more questions. He wondered how God's people would be able to overcome their enemies, and he asked how God could turn bad things into good. God told him that even though it might not happen in the way Habakkuk expected, God would always keep his promises, and he would make things right in the end. But first, Habakkuk had to trust him and be patient. Habakkuk started to understand what God was saying. He had to trust that God knows what's best for us, and God always does what he says he'll do. After that, Habakkuk praised God for his goodness. He hoped that God would continue to bless his people like he had done in the past, and he proclaimed that he would put his hope in God's promises from now on. And that's just a little about Habakkuk.